Hey guys, it's Jesse from Old Pine Island Marina down here in St. James City, Florida. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Stradic C3000. This is basically Shimano's new Stradic that they've come out with. I believe it was this year or last year. I think it was this year though that they came out with it though. Early this year anyway. Anyway, one of the big things they were advertising all year long and previously was the new hagane gear that they said they put in. This is the gear out of the C3000. It is a jet black gear. It is, I believe it's an aluminum gear, and it seems to be hard anodized. They did a really good job machining it. If any machining was done, I know they had to machine the outside diameter and put threads in here and everything. So the machining work that's done is very, very, very smooth, and it's really a well-made gear. I can't find any hob marks or anything on the teeth of the gear, so I imagine it was forged or something like that. I'm not too sure how they finish the surface of the teeth and stuff, but it is finished very well. It's also hard anodized. It's very hard to scratch. I've seen these with a lot of wear on them, and you do wear that hard anodizing off after a while, but it takes quite a bit of time. One thing to note is this is actually, it appears to be the same gear that they used in all previous models. Everywhere from the Stradic CI4 Plus to the regular CI4, to the Stradic FJ and the Stradic FI and the Saros, whichever one is before the FA. I don't remember which Saros it is before the FA. But those all used a gear that Shimano advertised as a Paladin gear. And that is this identical, exact same gear as far as I can tell. It looks the same, it's shaped the same, and it's just as hard and appears to be the same weight as all the other ones before. One of the bigger things that Shimano's been doing, which Penn has also been doing, is trying to seal up the reels a little bit more. And this year, they took out the oiling port that would be sitting around here. It'd be a flathead screw. Here's this 3000. I'm sorry, that's a 4000 Stradic. You can see the oiling port sitting right there. It's just a flathead screw. You take it out and put some drops of oil in there. They did take that out of this current model year. It seems like they don't want you to service it anymore. I'm not sure if that's for sure what they're doing, but one thing I did notice is they switched over to Torx head screws. On a lot of the fasteners, they use Torx heads. Basically, the exterior ones that you see are Torx heads. As soon as you take off some of the outer covers, the rest of them are all actually Phillips. Taking this one apart, I had to have a T6 bit and a T8 bit and a #1 Phillips screwdriver, as well as a tiny little Allen wrench. I'm not even sure which size it is. I actually just use a really super tiny Phillips head screwdriver in order to take that little set screw out that holds the clicker assembly onto the main shaft. But all that, other than that, basically you've got a lot of O-rings that Shimano and Penn have both been trying to do, and that's seal up the reels in order to keep water from getting in them more. So you'll see there's an O-ring right here. This is your friction ring to stop your reel from snapping shut when you go to cast. Right here is the friction ring. And then this is a new sealing O-ring they're trying to seal the bottom side of the rotor up with. This is the one-way bearing. They've got a little cup right here. And then that little cup is sealing into a new rubber seal right here. That's also new for this year. And then the main shaft has got, as soon as you take the rotor off, the main shaft goes through this little rubber seal right here that sits on top of the little brass nut right there that holds the rotor on. So Shimano's definitely trying to seal up the reels a little bit better. Oh, one other seal I forgot about is right on the bottom side of the rotor right there. Let's see, yeah, right about there. They put another seal there in order to try to seal it up. Other than that, a lot of everything, not a whole lot really changed from previous years. You've got the same worm drive right here. One thing I believe they did, I got to check the oscillation rate on this, but they added a set of gears right here in order to slow down the oscillation. I believe that's what that does, is they're slowing down the oscillation. When I take apart a 3000 FJ, I'll post a video to that later. But I believe that's what they're doing here. Is on the previous year's versions of these, this would have been all one gear, where now they've got a worm gear going to this gear and then two straight spur gears right here that will, I believe they're just reducing the oscillation rate. A lot of times we found the slower it oscillates, reel oscillates for the most part, the better it tends to stack braid. So that's one thing they've done. Another thing they did also, I'm not sure if it's a good thing or bad thing, This whole, I'm not sure what that would be called, but the oscillating mechanism right here that rides in the worm gear, used to be supported by 2 of these little shafts right here, and now they're not supported by 2, they're only supported by 1, and then the main shaft. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing. We'll find out as time goes on whether or not that's going to be an upgrade or a downgrade. So other than that, I'm excited to see that they did leave the good gear. They renamed it, but it's basically the good gear that it always was before. The seals are interesting the way they're doing it. The line roller also has a different little type of a funky seal in it. I'll show you that later. That'll probably be in a different video actually, because all of Shimano's newer ones, as far as I found anyway, all have a brand new roller bearing assembly for the line roller. Another quick thing real fast. This side of the body is made out of plastic on this new reel. This side is made out of metal. I don't know what this is. I believe it's aluminum. It feels like aluminum, so I'm going to guess that's aluminum. I guess if it looks, kind of seems and feels and smells like aluminum, it should be aluminum. It could be something different though, you never know. The rotor is plastic. I didn't read anywhere on Shimano's website saying that the rotor is the same rotor material that CI4's rotor is, but it definitely is. They've got the casting marks inside the bottom side of the rotor, and if you look at the new rotor and the CI4 rotors, it's basically the same material. So that's something they also changed, because in the Stradic FJs, that was a totally different rotor material there. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the most part. They are using a new roller bearing assembly. I'm not too sure what the advantage is to this one, if there is an advantage over the old versions, but this seems to be more of an enclosed unit. So we'll see how that holds up, and I don't think we'll be having issues out of those because we typically don't. So that's pretty much it for now. If you guys got any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Thanks.